We are back again. Bone Circuit, very good question. What's the focus today? Well, first of all, I have a confession, right? And that is that I betrayed you all yesterday and I worked on the game off stream. I do that all the time, to be honest, but I was wanting to add in threaded loading, and I didn't really want to do that on stream because I don't know how to do that. So it was going to be boring as hell. And now I have a scene loader. Even Steven, welcome to the stream. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that I can now load up all the rooms in advance. So when you enter a room, we pass off to the scene loader. Pretty basic little scene loader. And we give it an array. Basically, we give it an array of all the rooms in the scene. And it loads them into as pack scenes and sends them back as a dictionary of a string and a resource. Obviously, the pack scene and the path, because the doors have a path. NA Games, welcome, welcome. And so now we have that when we enter the room. And so it means our transitions are really quick. And I've been messing around with that, just working. I still have some work to do, so we can continue that. So basically what this looks like now is, if I go to facility 1, I've got collisions turned on because we're still working on some bugs. Morning and afternoon and evening and all of the things, all the times, because we're international. Collision for show. Okay, turn that off, and then on the invisible wall, turn that off, make it invisible. Okay, so top of the time zone, do ya? Yeah, for real. So if I just run this scene, currently 10:30. Damn, that's crazy. Also some Persona music, nice. Okay, so let's test it out. I also turned off the fading because I was trying to work out some stuff. So it's all very abrupt. But I need to like, oh, that's turned off too. all the overlays are turned off. Oh no. So you can't pick up, something I worked out is you can't pick up power-ups unless you're running the main game. Like you can't just be testing a level. You can see how I've got all the printouts of all the levels. Right now, the problem is that we're not cleaning that list. So we're just building a massive list of all the rooms that we've visited, which is like a problem. But we can load between these like really quickly. One of the problems I'm noticing is that on an upward transition, you're like very likely to get trapped. So now these are super quick. I've also think I finally fixed the room duplication bug. We got a room here, a fight. Fight, fight, fight. I got ahead of myself. I know the positions like too well. We have McDonald's, yeah? I had some recently. This elevator is so busted. I need to like fix it. Yeah, we have now the ultra smooth transitions, but you'll notice that this list I think gets bigger and bigger. My go-to double quarter pounder, easy. No onions. I don't like the onions. Never been a fan of the way McDonald's does them. Call it Macca's. I'm having a Mac attack. So yeah, that game's pretty sick now. But yeah, the problem is this gets bigger and bigger every time, and we don't. I right now it's obviously not an issue, but like I guess if you played the game long enough and and you visited enough rooms, like that might weigh down memory a bit. So we should probably be cleaning that out. Realistically, we only need the rooms that we can possibly enter into. We don't need any other rooms. Have you ever hacked the menu? Big Chain has a secret combination. No, I'd never do that. From those touchscreens. Damn, you all have a triple cheeseburger? Triple cheeseburger sounds pretty good, but like, is it not just like a smaller version of the double quarter pounder at the end of the day? Like, I always felt that way about cheeseburgers. Because like, cheeseburgers are pretty good, but it is just like beef and cheese, which is the same as double quarter pounder, except for the fact that they shred the onion on the... There are two sizes of patties. Yeah, big and small, yeah. The fact that they shred the... I mean, I don't know how it is in your country, but they shred... Like, you know, on the cheeseburger, the onions are like these tiny little squares. You know, that's fine. But on the double quarter pounder, they're like sliced. And it's so overpowering, it pisses me off. And I don't really like the texture of onion. That's my only complaint on the double quarter pounder, but I just pull them off. Can't carry on with the game. We got to get McDonald's. We got McDonald's bread. All right, guys. I'm doing an Uber order. We'll do it. We'll do a what are those things called when people eat like a bunch of food that were really popular like 10 years ago? Is a mukbang? A McDonald's mukbang. I'm taking YouTube back to the 2010s. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, we can't. I don't like McDonald's. I don't like the breakfast menu either. I've never been a fan. But frozen Coke, yeah. You love the onion? Ew. Ew. Okay. Right, okay. So, there's two things. When we are setting the current scene, I think is when we do it. We check for scene transitions. We basically pass the node off and we look at all the doors and we essentially put them into an array and yeah, we just request them from the scene loader to load the room scenes. And that signals back to the game state at the very bottom here. And the game state just puts it into the loaded scenes. Like it just returns the loaded scenes. And it says loaded scenes equals scenes. So maybe it's okay. No, that's not true because I wish we had hash browns. You don't have hash browns. Hash browns are really good. Whenever I go to a hotel, if I got hotel breakfast, so good. Sorry, taking out the flow state. So in the scene loader, we're never ever clearing the where is it? Loaded scenes. We're never clearing that. So we need to be like flushing that out. Octothorpe Browns just doesn't roll off the tongue. Yeah, it was a marketing thing. Start load next scene and then yeah, okay, so what do we do here? We just make it a part of that, right? So realistically, when we pass in the new array, we should probably clear out loaded scenes. However, that's pretty easy. Loaded scenes.clear, right? I want to preserve, and it's one of those things where it's like, you know, we are going to keep the current scene that we just came from always. Now it's probably going to be in this list, but because you can transition back and this takes time, right? So we're doing this on a separate thread. It's not as quick as what the player can move as. So when we enter a room, there's always the chance that we're going to go straight back the way we came. You know, you made a mistake. I think if we clear this loaded scene, we're actually it's not going to be there when we need it. And I think we can test that. I've actually got a failsafe in the game state when we load up the next room. Load next scene is very abstract. What next scene? I guess you could change it to be like load next game room. I don't know, because it does specifically relate to the game, not like any pack scene. I don't know. But yeah, so we have a failsafe here. Basically, if it's not in the loaded scenes list, then we're just going to load it like normal. But yeah, I think if we go quickly between scenes, we're actually going to hit this because it's not going to be fast. Stage manager throws papers. What scene? Just what we call them in Godot. We're always at the entrance. Yeah, see, we hit that. It's not fast enough, which is fine. What I think we should do in that case is when we do... Have you seen this? What we should do is instead, we set the current scene. We actually have, look what we have, current scene path and that. We already have that. So we can go loaded scene, loaded scenes dot clear, since we know we're going to reset it anyway. And then we can also just say loaded scene, current scene path. I don't know if that's in UID. That's the question. Equals current scene. And then when we receive that back, gonna be assigned type of resource. Oh no. It's like the pack scene. Yeah, that's a problem. Or do we keep it quick in memory? We don't actually delete it and we keep it as like a secondary variable, like old, like previous. We've got current scene path and current scene. All right, I want to move these sort of down the bottom. Organize this stuff because a lot of it is like array index doesn't take strings. Yeah, it takes resources. No, it takes a string and a resource. So it needs to be a pack scene, not a node, which is what I was running up against there. So we got player location, start state, idle. Okay, so this relates to the player. Last scene path. What am I using that for? That sounds like what I need. I'm just organizing these variables in like categories essentially. So we got all the stuff for the player, all the stuff for the encounters, map, menu, player map position. This is menu related, but it's still kind of player related. So put that there. Map positions explored. And then we've got all the stuff to do with encounters. And then we've got the level change stuff. Okay, cool. Oh my bad, I thought it was an array. I wanted it to be an array, but yeah, we need it to be I mean, I guess like the alternative would be to like have the scene loader be like, the problem is with the resource threading is that you can only do one at a time and you just sort of have to feed them in. But I mean, it's on a separate thread, so that's like not a big deal. But the whole thing is like, you couldn't just like send out a request. You could put this on the actual doors, right? Have the doors load up the actual pack scene and pass that to the game state when you hit that. But the problem is, yeah, you have to do them in order. So yeah. I guess you would need to like have like a request list. So when the signal gets emitted, plus we'd still end up with this issue anyway. What am I saying? It doesn't matter who does it. If you're moving that quickly between rooms, you need to make sure that you keep a hold of your old one. So what am I doing with this loaded last scene path? What am I doing? I think that actually is related to saving. So when you load the game up, it needs to know like where the hell you were. See? When you lose, it's basically the last place you saved. Probably change the name of that variable eventually. Not right now. Because so we can't use that. In fact, can we do like a quick change? Search, find in files, replace in files, replace. Last scene path with saved scene path. I wonder if this is being accessed outside of the problem of singletons, right? Is it being accessed outside of the game state? Ready? Okay, so we changed it to save scene path. I think the only issue might be the saving. Check the functions. Or it might actually be a problem from a load in just load data. See this? This function here? This expects everything to be the same. So if I change that here, it's not going to exist in the save game. Last scene path. You need to add make game bracket fun. Exactly. Last scene path is a string name. Save data dictionary, player scene data. Player scene data? So maybe it's okay. I don't know. Does this just automatically break? I think it breaks all previous saves because like the variable's not going to be the same. Open user data folder, delete them all. Also, the other thing I've been thinking about is storage. I don't think it's an issue, but when this game like saves data, yeah, there we go. Invalid access to last scene path on base object type dictionary. It's probably called save scene path. Game data update data. If we just do like a last scene path and then do a replace on that here, we'd probably be alright. When was the last time I did a git? That's the other thing. Refactoring. It's like, when was the last time I did a git? Did a push? In the wrong menu. Replace. Last scene path with save scene path. Alright, how much have I broken? Yeah, so what I was trying to say is with the saving, the way it works is it never deletes anything. And I don't like, it's all just text files, so like theoretically it's not a problem. Let's just find another save point. I think if I go through here. I haven't put the new elevator in yet. Okay, so That is a funny one. I've never seen that before. A gym for save points is going to take a while to test. A gym for save points won't even work because the saving relies on the data to be initialized correctly, which it doesn't do when you don't run the main game. So it actually just doesn't work. Because basically it relies on these things like these profiles to exist. So if I go to the profiles, it needs to have a profile. They're just called like 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you just run like a scene, like run current scene, it does not create a profile. And so therefore can't save and it will crash. But I've put a protection in for that. It just basically says, no thanks, basically. It says the file you're looking for doesn't exist. Okay, so that does work. And now we're not automatically jumping. Okay, so this is funny. I already know what this error is. When I save, I jump, because when I reload the scene, it's stored a variable called last state. So when you go through a room that goes from below to up, it basically says, oh, you were jumping. Actually, it's based off the direction of the door. So the door is in an upwards direction, so you need to be put into the jump state. And we crashed. What's that for? Huh. Get script? I haven't seen that before. Can't call the function get script on this node. Use call deferred or call. Interesting. Is that related to this or is that? Anyway, what I was trying to say is like, yeah, you are in a jump and so you were jumping. Wait, can we recreate that? We get some gremlins in the system, eh? Dunno. It just crashes. And no error. Okay, great. That's not helpful. That's not good. Porn, welcome. That is a bit concerning, but we'll just put it aside for now because we're trying to make our game better. Right. So, is that not just directly related to... I thought it was like... I had a breakpoint, didn't I? Back in the game state. Or the load next scene. Is it not hitting this and for some reason hitting a breakpoint instead? It hit the breakpoint, but instead it just crashed. I guess. Wonder why that is, actually. It's really peculiar. I don't know what it's doing. Is it because of threads? It seems very unstable if it's just like crashing because of multi-threading. You know what I mean? Multi-threading? Yeah, kinda. I'm using a scene loader, which is using a resource load threaded request. Returns the resource loaded by load threaded request. If this is called before loading before the loading thread is done, get status is not loaded. The calling thread will be blocked until the resource is finished loading. However, it is recommended to use load threaded get status to know when the load is actually completed. It doesn't really say. But that's what it is. Where's load threaded request? Loads the resource using threads. If use subthread is true, which it is. Multiple threads will be used to load the resource, which makes loading faster, but may affect the main thread and cause the game slowdown. The cache mode parameter defines whether and how the cache should be used. It doesn't mention any kind of like stability issues, but like maybe I need to do more reading on that. Because it does make like loading between the rooms way faster, because you've already got them in memory. Which is like a huge deal. But yeah. So yeah, the whole reason we were here is because like theoretically, like I'm not hitting that breakpoint anymore, but I am hitting I am hitting a different kind of issue. Loaded scenes not clear, scenes load. Okay. Right, go back to the game state. It has to be crashing before that breakpoint then? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it needs to be like hitting something before that when we're trying to load and crashing, which makes me think that because this is still ongoing, like, but you enter the room, this starts happening. And when you try to exit the room again, like we're sending more requests because we're entering a new room, and that's maybe like causing it to crash somehow. But also like, if that was the case, then you would hit that breakpoint because you've entered into the new room and you've started doing that. So I wonder if there's a way that you can interrupt this process. Or I don't even know if this is the problem, you know what I mean? Like that's half the issue with that. Like, is this really an issue? Or is it processing faster than I expected because the scenes, there's not that many scenes in this room that I'm going between, so I'm not hitting that breakpoint because there's only one other room, and so it's quick to load. Just a little printout so that they can see it happening. Ooh, debugger. This is call a thread, can't call the function get script on this node, use call deferred. Game state, the caller thread can't call this function get script on this node. Root game state. So yeah, it's pretty quick compared to the other room. Like that one takes a solid second, so here you can trigger it, I think, pretty easily. I can't even trigger it anymore. It's just happening so quick, I guess. Wait a second. Yeah, it's faster than when you go back into the scene. I'm still worried about that potentially happening. What about if I go left, right? I still can't. I mean, I should protect for that either way. Like, even if I can't have it happen because it's happening too quickly, I think at the very least you store the previous room automatically as like a scene. because we know that it's theoretically possible. And we have actually triggered that breakpoint one other time. So, you know, we did manage to hit that once. So, here, when we set the current scene, or actually, when do we know? You might have to add a little wait, 0.5 seconds, if it's a rare condition. Yeah, well, theoretically, I've got a temporary block on doors for 0.1 second. But I can make it longer. You know what I mean? Like the doors, you can't transition for 0.1 second. Just because there's like weird stuff that happens when you're loading the game that you could potentially trigger them when you don't intend to. So it's like, don't activate them straight away because that's annoying. So like you could just have them hold off until that's loaded. You could have a signal go out, you know, from the, you could have a signal go out from the game state to all the doors to say that they can activate now. We could pass the loaded, we could pass the loaded scene to the doors, and that would activate them. So rather than, leave that there, rather than signaling back to the game state, what we do is we actually signal to the doors themselves. Right? So you go to the door. Right now, yeah, they're literally just disabled for 0.1 second. It works. What can I say? I don't know the code base well enough to know that throwing colored spiders around. So, I think it's a valid idea, you know, because right now the game state controls most of that. But how a transition works is essentially you walk through these areas, and it'll just request a load a next scene. Basically, load next scene. You pass the script in from here. So theoretically, if you gave this the pack scene, you could pass that instead. And then like, all's well. Game dog time. I was planning on making a game. I was thinking about it last night. And making a really sad game. Almost teared up myself. Has to be power, right? Maybe you're just sensitive. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's hard with emotions. People react differently. So I'm not a good enough writer to give you advice on that. I couldn't do that to save my life. But if you've got the chops, I think it's a good way to, you know, people like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think you could do that because there's already a signal. The difference is it's a little bit more like technically challenging from a perspective. Write it all down in a script and review it different eyes in a couple days. Yeah, it's not that well, here's the thing. Okay, so if you're a door, right? So on pack scene ready. Pack scene loaded, I guess. Needs to be past tense. And then this has like a packed scene, because that's what we get back from this, and it is of type pack scene. So basically you just go if because actually we're going to get the dictionary because that's just way easier. We don't the scene loader doesn't know what door is for what, you know, what transition, what pack scene is for what door. It can't know that. It's an axolotl living a short life and then goes to his home and finds it's been completely polluted and he thinks humans hate him and gets upset. Also, he dies if you close the game. Ripped the axolotl. Where are they from anyway? Do you pass the dictionary? That's the easiest way. I mean, theoretically, you could pass the doors. You know what would be really good? I don't know. I have 2 at home. That's awesome, dude. Cute little boys or girls. It'd be really nice if you could put a signal out from this to the scene loader. The problem is, like, yeah, you need to keep track. And like I said, even though it's multi-threaded, you can only do 1 request at a time. I don't think you can have multiple instances of it. I could be wrong on that. How's our game doing? The tank and stuff? Yeah, it's going well. We're trying to get good transitions. Smooth transitions. I suppose the easiest way to test this to see if it even works is just to hook in with the pack scene dictionary. That's the easiest thing to do. So let's just do that. And we can worry about like efficiencies later on. Because it's already like pretty efficient to begin with. So we get the pack scene and we actually get the loaded scenes. That's the dictionary. And then we can just say if load scenes dot has our key, which will be this next scene, then we can actually set the export. It's not an export variable, it's just a variable. Go down here. Pack scene load. And it's a pack scene. If it has that, then you can say pack scene to load is equal to load scenes square brackets next scene, right? And then you can say door enabled, set enabled. So it starts off as disabled. And once you receive that back, it's enabled. So like it's dependent on when the resource is finished. And I think that makes a lot of sense because we don't want to start loading until that happens. Even though we theoretically can, it's way better if we just say no, you know? So this requires us to get that information back. And we can also like probably ditch this timer, which is pretty good. I like being able to ditch the timer, although we do need to set disabled on run. Okay, so we ditch the timer and instead we connect to a signal. So signal manager, what have we got? Game state, signal on scene loaded. I should probably put plural there, on scenes loaded. And then we have scenes to load, scenes loaded. And it's a dictionary, right? Okay, so we do that. And then in the scene loader, instead of emitting load finish.emit, although that is kind of fine, it's load finish.emit, and then we're emitting a dictionary. I like how like this just doesn't need to follow the rules. I originally was going to I was going to return 1, but it doesn't work like that. So load finished emit, we go signal manager. What did I call it? Dot emit. No, dot on loaded. Signal manager sucks so much sometimes. Oh, it's because I didn't save it. And I have a bad memory. Go back to the games. No, scene loader. And communicate this information around on scenes loaded.emit loaded scenes. Okay, so we do that, right? And then we go back to door and we subscribe to that here on the ready. Signal manager dot on dot connect, and the callable is on pack scenes loaded. So how quick, I mean, we've definitely seen that this happens within the scene. Like the scene's already loaded when this is happening. It's not that quick. I don't think the other risk that is just crossing my mind now is that theoretically this process starts before we actually load the actual, before we get to the ready. Essentially, I'm thinking, you know, about this ready, and when it gets called in the tree. So you have to like think about the tree. So once you get a new scene, you load it in. Ready is called from the bottom to the top, and so that means that, and how it works within the flow. If I look at the game state, when we're loading next scene, for example, we're setting the current scene, which sets off this whole like chain of events, right? And we're not even adding this to the tree, call deferred, add child, level to load, right? So here, between here and here, the process of loading the actual scenes for this next level is here, and adding them to the actual scene is here. There's a possibility that the signal gets emitted before they connect to it, which is something to consider. However, I think it's okay because we've seen, otherwise we'd be hitting this breakpoint all the time. You know what I mean? And, or I mean, the other thing to fall back to is like you could wait until the next level is completely loaded before you send this request off. Although I do think like doors would be incredibly slow at that point. Not that it's really like you transition really quickly. It's just that if you turned around, maybe you hit a wall instead of actually transition. Okay. Let's test it out. I think that works just off rip. Invalid property load finished on base object type node. Scene loader load finished. Oh yeah, okay, so the old code still exists. It's alright. We've got errors. Oh yeah, it just straight up didn't work. What happens in the new game? Oh, you know what? I did all of that and then never actually changed. Although it's worth testing, like if we just run that again, or actually it was still running. I should have just checked the breakpoint. Door disabled is off. Pack scene to load is there. So we have it. That's good. So it works. We just need to actually change the way that the scene is getting sent to the game state. So game state, load next scene. This is a pack scene now. Okay. And all of this breaks. Woohoo. But that's okay. We comment it out, and level to load new scene is just going to be scene, right? Yeah. Set current level. Okay, so maybe we need to pass both because current scene does need to know the path and the actual node itself. It wants the node and the string, and that's useful. We need it for save related reasons. So like if you save the game, we need to know the string path. We don't want to keep the pack scene, although you can reverse engineer it. It's like it's probably better if it's just the string. We can add that to the bottom here, just like scene path. I think it's a string name. and then just pass that in. And then we just need to change like in the door. When we go next scene, we pass in the pack scene to load. And then at the very end of this, we pass in the next scene. Load next scene expected 6 but received 7. That's okay because I didn't save the game state. If I save it. Now it's happy. Okay. Let's see. Happy days. So now the question is the ultimate, so the other room duplication error that we had was that if you go into a room where the previous transition is in the exact position of the next transition, there's a chance that there's some overlap while they're loading between scenes because the player never gets deleted and he triggers the next one before he gets moved to the correct position. And the way that I fixed that was just with a timer. Like it fixed all the problems. I mean, I guess this works too. But yeah, because you don't receive it straight away anyway, so sweet. So as quick as they possibly can be, these transitions will be. I don't think you could make them any faster than this. There's a hole here, but you can't see it because like the game is a bit of a mess right now visually. Okay, well, we'll call that a job done, I guess. And then we can bring back the up and downs, the animation player for the overlays. Now the question is loading. Oh, you know what? We are still just at the behest of these. Can we make these faster? Can we make them like 0.1 second? Like we're putting in the hard stop of like how, like the duration of the load is literally like going to be limited by the speed of these animations. So I think we should make these like way faster. They were like legitimately slow for a reason. Like when I was first doing this, it was like, oh, there needs to be like more time in between because like the load times are like kind of funky. And now none of that matters because it happens pretty much instantly. So we can make, I reckon 0.1 second, that's 0.2 second. I don't think it's happening much faster than that, right? I'm not even, I could do a time, I could time it to see like how long it takes. I mean, I think this is fine. Gets rid of all the jank. Okay, at the start of the game, Axo is really happy and excited to start his new life. He's been in a cave all the time, but then he finds out it's more polluted and pointless, and he thinks that he's hated. Okay, so basically he thinks that bad things that are happening around his world are because of him, and not because that people just don't even realize he exists. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea for like a game in general, because a lot of people just feel that way. I think it's a normal way to feel especially when you're young. Like bad things are happening because, you know, because of me for some reason, because I deserve it for some reason. What does this look like? This still looks terrible, but that's the camera. We gotta fix the camera. We need to like preserve the camera's position. Write it all down, and then you use AI to convert it, called something called Ren'Py script, and you have the story with the stage and environment added. Or you can make a visual. What is it called? A visual novel? Okay, now we have super zippy transitions. All right. Okay, job done. Stream over. No. Okay, we have to go back to what we were actually doing on Thursday, which was he thinks that ever since he left his cave, the humans look down at the water and is scared of him. No, I'm joking. We have to actually make the rewards. I think. Now, I vaguely remember something. I could be misquoted, but like I remember reading somewhere that the guys that made Hollow Knight, shout out fellow Australians, said that they thought that the reward of beating the boss was the reward, like the actual feeling of accomplishment that you got from defeating a hard boss was the reward. And like personally, hard disagree. I want prizes. All right, I'm selfish. When I defeat a boss, I want a prize. That's just how it is. Even if it was just a bit of money, I think you need to give me something. Listen, I'm a 90s kid. We grew up with participation trophies. I think, just give me a bit of cash. Give me a health upgrade. Give me something. It doesn't have to be big, but I think just a little treat at the end of a boss is fun. So I think we should do that. We just need to make it happen. So I think probably the best place to put this is in the boss encounter scene. You know what I mean? Because like we can just store it as oh look, we have a reward field. Did I add that last time? We have a reward. So it makes sense to put it here. Where's my scripts? There it is. We got a reward. What are we doing with it? Reward point marker. Spawn reward. If reward. Oh wait, so okay, so I have okay. Dude, when did I do this? Did I just put this in and just never implement it? Holy crap. Okay, job done. All right, so what happens if I put something there? Shout out. So then if I just go and create, so I had a mod chip pickup. It was a mod chip reward. I wanted it to bounce. Ancient code stub discovered. Like, it's done. I already done this. I just never actually put it into practice. It's meant to have a player make feel bad at the end because you have to close the game because he just sits there. At least I can think it. So you're just like making sad man game. It's a little bit of a sad boy game. And if Tusk swims in the blood water for the boss. So like when you close the game, will you show it? You know, like, I don't know how you, like, does he just turn grey or whatever? Does he pull out a 1911 and just dome himself or something? I don't know. What's the, how does an axolotl do that? Okay, so we've got the mod chip reward. You would have to have a separate one per. So floats upside down and stiffens up. Save scene as. So it would need to be like say like missile mod chip reward. Or save that. And then here we just make unique. Actually we clear this. This is a save scene. This shouldn't have anything in it. Let's save that. So then I can just go editable children. Or I can put whatever I want in this one, theoretically. Then we can just go missiles. Okay, so let's say that's the reward. So if actually, you know what? Like if this has already been implemented, I just go to the security boss room. And then here in this boss encounter, I drop in the missile mod chip reward. Where does it show up? In the middle, I guess, and then just drops down. Okay. So I reckon. So right now, there's a couple of things. When the boss is defeated, so we're not ever calling spawn reward. Is that the thing? We're never calling spawn reward. Game encounter. So when the boss is defeated, we tell the game state, first of all. He lays on the ground with his tail curled up around him and his eyes closed, pollution around him, and sharks in the background. Okay. Bro's about to get eaten. He's gonna get chomped. We're gonna chow down. Okay, so basically Q3 here is bad. Encounter ended emit. I don't know what that entails, but that's what we're doing. And then yeah, we should here, once the boss is defeated, we should spawn a reward, right? And then once the reward is picked up, we need to like somehow make this go away. What I think probably would work better is rather than just deleting this scene, change the way that it works. But yeah, we'll work on that. He's a special actor though, because he glows yellow and can see in darkness around him. But I guess like the question is, what's the game loop here? Because like obviously, like you know, you have to like, do you look after him? Is it like Tamagotchi style? Or is it like you have to, are you going to go exploring with him? Super. Like, I'm just calling super though. What is that for? Axolotl eat blow bubble. Exactly. Okay, let's test this out and see what happens. Easy boss. Easy boss. You control him. Hang on. And he talks to you, and then there's like images of the Hollow Knight. Oh, we got it. Oh shit. What the hell? Dung. Okay. And then we were able to pick that up, but now we can't escape. Sneaky last attack. Yeah, that was weird actually. I wonder what happened there. I'm guessing there's a bit of issues in some of that code that allows you to override the state. So we'll look at that in a second. I think I can fix that pretty easily. Okay, so yeah, like we pick it up and then I guess we delete it. We need to add a signal to the reward to like let it know that it can delete itself. What can we do here? I guess we could connect tree exited and then delete both. That's like the easiest thing to do right now. And then in order to make it look good, like it would be better if it was, say for example, the reward was a health pickup. I don't think they're affected by gravity, but it should be fine. Pickups, health upgrade. Like if that was the reward, I think it would just float there and then it would do like a, you know, it has it has more impact. We probably need to implement the same thing. I think that's what I was doing last time. I was creating a scene to show that. All right, okay. That just straight up crashed. Oh, you know, I did add a button, didn't I? F2 for over 9,000. Invalid property to ID on access type nil. Health pickup ID. Oh, it doesn't have an ID. Ooh, interesting. That is interesting. Does it need one? UID generator. I guess we can just say like, if no ID, don't do this. Dude. Yo, stability is like crazy bad. I don't know if this is because of the straight up just doesn't load anymore. Is it because of the threads? Like actually? You know what I mean? Whoa, okay. Load room scenes. So if we just don't do that, right? We never call load room scenes. Load next scene starts the whole sequence up. So if we just don't do that, does this go back to being like completely fine? Don't know about these threads, man. Dude. Dude. Oh, it appears like way high. I can't reach that. It has to be crashing. Oh, that's like an odd thing, eh? Okay, let's just put that way lower. Okay, you control him, but he talks to you like you're there. Imagine Hollow Knight, but he looks at you and says hello. Sneaky last attack. Read the article John Carmack, Idea Generation, Brittle Ideas, that it will get rid of the sloppy ideas that don't survive the fun test. I had thread hell porting my framework to web audio. Web workers are always being updated, so the code base slaps hands. That's funny. This whole thing is impossible to test because that doesn't work unless the game's running, and I need to like set it up so that it will work. It will work outside of the main game state. Like it basically, you need to remove the dependency of the game state. It's actually a pretty important lesson, I think, that I've learned while making a bigger game, is that like, I thought I was making stuff that was not like super dependent, but like, it's always dependent on the structure of the game. Like that's what I made it, how I made it work was, you know, there's something that is controlling, you know, all of this stuff. Basically, you know, how do you keep track of whether or not you've collected a heart? That's a heart, by the way. Well, you tell the game state about it. And if the game state doesn't exist, then it gets cranky. I'm asleep now. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good rest. Hope you dream of Axie. So it's an interesting little lesson where it's like even the game state needs to be made independent from the game. Which means like think I would say in hindsight really is just everything needs to run off signals. Because I think when I start the game state, a lot of it doesn't run off signals, and it really should. But it's not the biggest problem. Like, it's still pretty stable. But yeah, the reason that it's not working right now is because the UI is never loaded, right? And so when you get put into that state that when you collect something, he sort of like sits in the air and like puts his arms out. He'll never exit that state because he's waiting for the information that the UI has finished playing that like scene, basically like showing you that you've collected it. It's waiting for that, and it doesn't exist. So like when you run the game like this, when you press pack scene, you don't have a UI because the UI gets loaded when you actually run the game. That's like this. It's just one of those steps. That's like when you play the game and you press like new game or load, it says load the UI. And so that's what it'll do. But when you do this, it doesn't. So we just need to go back to the game state because we have like a big function that can handle all of this and make sure that all the dependencies are met regardless of how you started the game. I think it is debug, create data. So basically we say, hey, this is not the right way to go about things because you have to like actually set up all these variables for the game to work. Just, you know, a thing. So there's a UI call here. We load game from menu. In-game menus instantiate, and then add child in-game menu. Oh, sorry, we just need to call this function then. But yeah. Lessons. We have too much stuff open. Invalid access to property. Okay. This will be because we just decided to load the menu up and the menu's like, what the hell? Mod chip menu? What the frick? Oh, because we decided to load the menu. It's like, I don't know what any of this stuff is. So then we're running into more dependency issues. Interesting. Invalid access to player data. Because player data doesn't exist. And it needs the player data to display the data. It says, where's your player data? We didn't load any because we're just trying to test the game. So do we need dummy player data? That exists. I'm surprised I'm not doing that. I'm kind of just like, yeah, okay. So when we do a new game, we're setting up all this stuff for new game anyway. Are we not? Soft save player, load in game menu. I guess like we could also like fix the issues here. Like you soft save player. You know what I mean? Like new game. Load in game menu. Soft save player. So this is like essentially what we need to do. We set the player data to be the player data. Create profile. What are we doing here? Get start location. The soft save player sets the data to be player data. But where does it get that when we start the game? Is it literally just loading off like this? Player data? Match case. If not player data, player data. That would do it. Right, are we not calling this load player scene? Return player, are we not calling this? On player requested, load player data. So I have accounted for that. If not player data, player data. So why would it be cranky then? Invalid access to key player data on base object of type nil. Game state dot player data. Have we not set the player? Do it again? I'm running the wrong thing. This is the player doesn't exist. Ability slots. Self. Mod view. Equip slots. Mod chip list. Signal manager. Game state. Player doesn't exist. Right. Well, why not? Set current scene, new scene. Current data call deferred. Oh, wait, hi, what are we working on today? Oh, we got a raid, Eris error. Thank you. Sorry, I missed that. I have alerts turned off. Thank you so much for stopping by. We are still working on our Metroidvania. We are currently dealing with a little bit of a bug. So essentially, the game has gotten big enough now that in order to like properly test things, it's easier just to hit the little run current scene button. The only problem is that a lot of the dependencies, like the menu, can't be loaded because the menu requires the data to be correctly initialized, which doesn't happen when you press that button. And so in order for us to fight this boss and collect the reward, we need that information to exist. Otherwise, you know, you can't finish the sequence because that, like, it just doesn't. So when we defeat this boss, right? Super easy boss. We've got, you know, it just does a couple of things. Shoots some missiles. It's no big deal. We can just fire back, no problems. It's super easy. Just have to know the timing of that charge and the other things. And then we have to fight some extras. So we should be pretty much done. There we go. Okay, so we defeat it and then we get our little reward, but this reward won't ever like get given to us or actually even finish. So if I collect it, the guy goes into this state where he's meant to be like receiving it, but nothing happens because the UI doesn't exist. And you just get stuck there perpetually, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, that's where we're at. How's your game going? This is the text. This is the typing game that I'm terrible at, right? Why can't I view your page? Oh, I'll post the, wait. No Steam page yet? Should I give it a test? I was really bad last time. Oh my god, I can't get rid of your card now. I can't see. You've been working on the tutorial for almost 2 months now? Let's give it a run. Or I don't have to if you don't want me to, but I'm happy to give it a shot. The game is devilishly hard. I'm so bad at typing that a typing game is like poison for me. You know what I mean? I should be running this in the other one. Okay, so the music's actually like pretty reasonable. Thank you for that. Some people like don't get the levels, like the audio levels correctly set, but yours are good. I've been blasted so many times, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so calibration levels. 0, 1. Tutorial, give me the tutorial. Move around. Oh look, a customer. Interact with them with the E key. I'm not even pressing the right, I was pressing D. Once the customer is ready to order, interact with them. They wave. Now that you have an order, open your spell book. Oh, I pressed that too quickly. It seems like the customer wants a bitter sweet cake. Flavor and icons and dishes. Go to the kitchen. Flavors need product. Okay, so we need sweet bitter cake. Sweet. How do I select it? Okay. I also need a bitter. Oh, I couldn't tell that she was holding. I guess it's the same color as her. And then, okay, so then you press Q and hold down. Now to start the spell, hold down Q. Okay, here we go. Ready? Type the letter when the hit. Okay, so it's rhythm based, yep. Oh, we don't have focus. If this your spell progress bar when the spell is complete. Okay, nice. Close. Hello. Are we missing something? Or is that like the end of the tutorial and I don't actually get to test this out? End spellcasting. You found a bug I didn't even know existed. Okay. So wait, are we still in this system? Yeah, we can try again. Because now we're like a little bit free from the tutorial. Oh, here we go. W-I-T-H-T-H R-E-A-D. Dude. Missed 11. Great job. Now, okay, so is that sort of the end of it? Or did I just like not? I did so bad I couldn't even. Dude, I failed the tutorial. I don't know why I do it in this order. Grab both. Let's try again. Oh my god. T H E M Y S O N T. Accuracy 0%. One part of improving will be to make it easier. Beware, my son, the jaws that bite the claws. Dude. But it didn't spell anything, did it? I can't even, like, that's the part I don't... Is it, like, correct me if I'm wrong, that I don't pick up on the words that I need to type. Like, I don't see that. Maybe it's a skill issue. Like, I've never really been that good with, like, language. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, and. Oh, I can see it up there. W-H-A. Okay, okay. T is. I know what's coming next. G-A-O-D. And. E-M-A-M-E. Grade fail. Dude, do I have to make it to the end? I am so... I mean, I think it's me. Like, you need to... Like, people who are B-E-W-A-R-E. B-M-Y. Oh. Okay. Yeah, maybe... maybe I ain't got the chops for this one. Maybe I would get there eventually. I don't know. It's fun. But yeah, that's brutal. Alrighty. Okay, so yes, we were trying to fix our game testing so that we can actually finish testing, so we can actually test things. It's not just you. No one's gotten 100% yet. Ideally, do you get 100% when you run it? Like it, you know, some people are into typing games, right? Like Osu and all that. I want the tutorial to be easy enough to always score it. Yeah. Maybe make it like 2 words or something. I don't know. I'm in the 80s. Oh, wow. Okay. So hard for even you. What was I doing? Yeah. Okay. So load in-game menu doesn't work because it wants a player and the player doesn't exist. Because when is the player? When the player is requested, this is coming after this. That's the problem. When we load the player scene, on player requested is called, when's debug create data called? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, we have an order of operations issue here. See this? We're setting the player scene here. See this? It expects the player to exist. So, easy fix. I think. Maybe there's some dependency issues or, yeah, I mean, let's just see if this fixes it. And if not, we can just always call load in-game menu at the bottom of this function. And I think that would be fine. So let's see. Security drone level, run that. Okay, great. The issue is now we don't have a location, which is a problem because we want to make sure that we have control over where we spawn the player rather than just at the 0, 0. So I think personally, since we know it was working well before this, we go back to the way it was, but instead of calling load in-game menu here, see, we still have to do this check. That's the funny part, create data. So we need to get like the thing that we didn't have is like the game start location, right? So game start location. We set the current scene. We have the player. Player equals load current scene. Do we need... What about if we just separate these two? So player becomes player, because that's what it was missing. Player equals load player scene, and then game start dot load player, right? We just do it in between these two steps. And also I got rid of loading game menu. Oh my god. Keep trying to like snap things to like... I just want you to go away. And what is this? Okay. I mean, it seems good enough. We're going to go into one-shot mode because... so I press F2, secret developer cheats. I don't want to have to fight this guy a million times. Okay. Now we get that and we go back to normal. And so like, I think at that point do we have like a reverse? So the thing with encounters is right now is when they're defeated, when they're beaten, they delete themselves, which I don't know if that's like ideal because it's kind of weird with the camera. The camera gets sort of like pushed around a bit, and I think that's kind of a bit disorientating. It doesn't look cool. Like maybe have the doors open back up. The idea with this is to eventually like you can have anything block the player. You know what I mean? Like right now it's just red lines, but it can be anything. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So once we spawn a reward, we could open the doors. So we could play backwards start. So we could also just like open the doors, maybe potentially, rather than just play backwards, because I think that's probably bad practice. Have a free. So right now it looks like this. We just go dunk, and there's a label that shows up, but it's not visible here for some reason. I don't know why. Visibility ratio. Why can't I see that right now? Anyway, duplicate and just call it end. And then if this is end, we go delete, and rather than put this, well, this is like a really long one, so make it like 0.2 seconds. I mean, this can be as long as or as short as we want it. And we open the doors so you can leave. And I think we do that rather than delete it at all. Spawn reward, and then animation play, dot play, end. So as long as we've got a start and an end animation, we're all good. And that can be the entire sequence. And then we can look at the AI on the boss and see, like, because we know that it's doing some weird stuff when it's getting like, I think it's interrupting. It's getting interrupted. You can kill it and it can still do actions, basically. Like this. No? Okay. Okay, so now you can just leave. Or you can collect the reward. And I think that's a little bit cooler. And then, yeah, when you come back here, it's not going to be there, right? I think you won't be able to walk through this room. That is correct. That makes sense. Instantiate on a null value. Interesting. Because we're never throwing to the scene loader. Is it not? That only gets called when you load a scene, I think. I don't know what it's not called here, that's for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to put that in the debug. So when we call scene loader, check scene transitions, load room scenes, on scene load finished. Check scene transitions, set current scene. Is that called in the debug create data? It is. So why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it work? Because, oh, this is what I was saying before. Because it's not, the order of operations is wrong here. And that's like, I don't think you can fix that. Unless we go to like the doors requesting that data rather than the actual scene. The scene loader, essentially. So the scene loader currently requests the data because it is loading the scene so it can pass off that information. But theoretically, the doors could request that themselves. The only issue is that we can only do one at a time, in theory. The question is, can we do two at a time? Can we have any number of these? Could we connect them as nodes to doors and have them just request that data themselves individually? Could that work? How many resource loaders can you resource load? It's just a constant, so I think you can only do one. I think if it's busy, it just rejects it. Let's read the docs. Loads a resource. Okay, no, we don't want load. Load threaded get. Load threaded request. Is it time to play everyone's favorite game? Is there a limit? Yes, I don't know. Loads the resource using threads. If use subthreads is true, multiple threads will be used to load the resource, which makes loading faster but may affect the main thread and thus cause slowdowns. The cache mode parameter? Where the how and should be. It doesn't say anything about like whether or not you can just pass in as many as you want. Could be a fun test. How do we try that? So currently, we can test that actually with the current system, to be honest, because we get it as an array. So it comes in as an array, load room scenes. Did I just like, I canned that. Load next scene. Did I just disable this? And that's why it's not working? I may have done that. Why did I do that? Okay, that's weird. Try again. Is it because it just doesn't work in this state right now? It's new. Oh yeah, okay. Right. There is a, oh, that's right. It was just randomly crashing. And I get this error. Call a thread can't call the function get script. Use call deferred or call deferred thread group instead. The call thread can't call the function get script. I don't know what it's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it means by that because I don't have any stack trace on that. So signal manager caller thread can't call the function get script. Main node is accessible from caller thread true, returning variant. So this has got something to do with this, and it is, I think, causing some level of instability in the game, but I don't know what, because it's not crashing, so I don't Like it was just like not working. Like it would load up and then instantly crash without giving any kind of error like that. And I was like, it definitely relates to this. Sometimes works, right? But not all the time. And that's kind of annoying when you're trying to test. It seemed pretty stable from the point of view when you actually just run the game, right? Like I think I had maybe 1 or 2 crashes, but like, is it Windows? You know, is it something related to that? Let's go find a room where we can do like a bunch of quick transitions. But I've done that and it seemed pretty good. It's mostly just when you run the game through testing. Would it be better if we were individually requesting doors? I don't know. Okay, but let's test that anyway, because that's what we were talking about. We'll worry about the stability thing later. So right now, I just say load next scenes and I do them one at a time because for whatever reason, I think that's how it works. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing stopping me from once I have that array to just pass in the start load and just like threaded request everything. Is it time? You know what I mean? Like there's nothing stopping me from doing that right now. I don't know why I didn't. I don't remember, but it was only yesterday. And I think part of me intuitively, I think it's because there was a problem with just loading them all. So if I get them as a, oh yeah, because you have to like know when you're requesting it, you need the string. So you don't just get it back. You have to like ask for it back. So like you kind of need to do it one at a time. But if this was an individual node attached to the door, then we could request them individually and not have to like keep track of all of that. So maybe we try that. This scene is pretty flexible right now. It doesn't necessarily need to be a child of the game state. It just needs to receive the load room scene. It expects an array, but like we could just pass a single array. Like I think that works, right? And then the difference being, rather than doing signal manager back, we just do like the old way, the signal back. Let's see if we can connect this to the doors and see what happens. I don't know. So give it a scene loader. You know what I mean? This could be a disaster, or it could just go really well. Okay, give it a scene loader, set disabled, and rather than connect a signal here, we are going to go to the scene loader and say scene loader dot start load, and then path in next scene, right? And then here, oh, it's not happy. Start load function should be a string, but it is an int. Oh, I passed in next index, next scene. So start load is this. We set the process to be true. We'll do a loaded thread request. And then let's just comment this out in case we have to go back to the old way. Then we say, signal load finished, emit. And we pass back the loaded scene, which is loaded resource here. Whoa. We pass back the loaded resource. Let's try not to change too much. We are still adding it to a dictionary. We'll worry about that if this works, about cleaning this up. So we pass back the loaded resource. We just need to connect. If we go back to the save that, load finished here, we need to connect. We're still in the scene loader. Go back to scene loader. Here we go here. So we go scene loader. Actually, just do this. Connect the signal first. Scene loader dot load finish dot connect, and that is on pack scene loaded. Except now, instead of receiving a dictionary, we should probably just create a new version of this. Comment this out, and then make this a pack scene. And then loaded scene, singular, and then we say pack scene to load equals loaded scene. Okay, and then we set enable. Okay, so everything should be how it works. The only other thing is in the game state, we need to say, we need to go to the function called create. What is it called? Well, in the new game, what software are we using for streaming? I use OBS. So I do OBS, and there's a service called Restream that allows me to go to YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And you can pay, I think a free tier allows you to do both, but you have like some kind of it's like there's a watermark, or you can pay, it's like $80 a year, and you can do that. And then you don't have a watermark, and you can stream to way more things, but I'm only streaming to Twitch and YouTube still. Like I could stream to Kick. I'm not super interested in that platform. Like it's, you know, like, yes, like I am ethically opposed to what they do, but like I'm not so much on my high horse that I wouldn't. It's just like, I don't know if there's an audience there. I don't really care. And then the other platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Well, TikTok, I didn't get into the program, so I can't. And then Facebook and Instagram is kind of too much of a fuck around, and so I don't. You know what I mean? Do we think, like, would it be like worth it to stream to Kick? I don't think it would help. You know what I mean? I think what people are looking for over there is not what I'm doing. Plus, I'm maybe too woke for them. Although we don't really get political here, so. But if we invite them in, maybe we do, because I'm like, gambling is bad, and they're all gamblers. Okay, so what the hell? I got lost. We are looking for the function. I don't know. Check scene transitions. Yeah. Just return. Just don't do this. Does I need to charge the tablet? I don't know if I can get it plugged in without. Okay, so scene transitions is returning nothing. So theoretically we should be all good in the hood. The scene loader needs to be assigned here. Hit save, and now theoretically everything should be okay. Let's run a. This only has 2 rooms, or do we just run the game and go crazy? Because that first room is big. Let's see what we get. Okay, so things have loaded up. That scene loader can probably be deleted. So yeah, let's have a look at the doors. Try to go through one, I guess you could do that too. Obstacles, dude, I don't even know. Game objects, doors. Okay, that one has a pack scene. I mean, they all have pack scenes, so I think this works, right? We just pass off to the scene loader on... Ooh, prompt door doesn't. But that's okay, because it's different. It's built different, so we probably just need to fix that. So I'd say yes, that this does work. Like offloading to that individually, which I think is probably better, right? Like structurally and like just fundamentally is a better way of doing things, rather than having to like require because the way that the game state had to do it, it sort of had to like filter out all of the There's an extra step involved where it had to find the doors. It's way better if we don't have to find the doors. So that's good. I'm glad that worked. And let's go test here in a little up and down stress test. Pretty quick, honestly. I'm actually really glad I did this. I was putting it off for so long because it sounded too hard and intimidating. But it honestly wasn't that bad. I mean, shout out to Cubel for the tutorial. Well, yeah. For like even making the video so I knew it existed. But yeah. Super quick transitions, especially without the 3D. It's making me like really think, do I really want to put 3D in? Because it slows down the transition so much. Maybe not now though. I don't know. Like it feels really good. Love it. Okay. So yeah, let's delete this from this. Delete scene loader from the game state. And get the script back. Game state returns and delete the export variable for the scene loader. We don't need it anymore. And then remove that check scenes transition function. Okay, Evanly, I cannot see your chat for some reason in the YouTube, but I can see it on the other chat box that I have open. I feel like I enjoy seeing the character physically walk out of the room before transitioning over, even if it is a little slower. We can do that though. I mean, we could just put the transitions. I mean, that is, I guess like there's an art to that, right? Because we could just, now that they're quicker, we could just put the transition inside the, like we could hide it. It's all, visually it's all a bit of a mess right now. It's something I do need to work on. Right? But okay, these ones are no, they're like the old fashioned way, but like where's some of these other rooms that are like just sort of there to test out all of this stuff? Like they literally don't exist for much other reason other than to pad out the space and sort of give it an idea. See how these ones are like here? What we can do is almost move the, so we've got a BG tile, number one, that I've turned off for some reason in this room. That'll cover up some of it. But also, these invisible walls. Turn off this. Okay, that one I think is fine. We need to move these back a bit. Juggling plates versus debugging and refactoring. Okay, hand me the plates. It's a bit like that, eh? I forget what I was doing with the debugging. I think I fixed that. No, I fixed the problems that I was having with the... Well, I mean, there's still work to be done, but yeah. Just move everything back. You know what I'm saying? This one didn't even have one. I don't know where that is in relation to. It might be time to start a little comment area in your main C or whatever you call that. I do need to probably... Yeah, I guess it is getting to the stage where it's like you need to like properly do some kind of... what do they call it? To do. You get the Trello out I see what you're saying about moving the trigger points backwards, but in a lot of games you feel the character catch and continue walking. Yes, I know what you mean exactly. Like in those old-fashioned games. I mean, I think like the most iconic is like Metroid, where you sort of hit it and it's sort of like the entire room. It's funny because back then I guess they didn't really have the technology, or they didn't know, but they like move the entire room and the character sort of stays in place. Rolls downstairs over and over. Your neighbor's dog? What? Don't be mean to your neighbor's dog. Yes, I mean, you could do that. I have the information there. You know what I mean? Like, what am I trying to say? I know what state you should be in, and I do it for this. But I don't do it for these. Like, I guess I could continue walking and then load. I don't know. Like, the transitions are pretty quick. But I do know what you mean. You can't even reach it. Like, it's interesting, you know, like, oh, you can walk right into the door, and it's not until you get to it. I think this is like kind of cool. I choose it to be fast and snappy. Yeah, so it's like you look like you're walking into something before it transitions. You just got to get the depth right. I probably need to standardize it. Because right now it's like, just draw it. Like I could probably have like the invisible wall be maybe even part of the door. Even, you know, like now I have like, oh yeah, you have up, down, left, right. Like maybe I can make individual scenes that I can drag in depending on the door that I'm trying to make. If that makes sense. I think that would work, eh? There needs to be a background. Wait. There needs to be a background drone sound or something called audio ducking when you transition. Yes. Add a compressor. So I've got this thing called game sounds, right? So the way that these all work, if you don't know audio, is that you've got these, I think that in here they're called buses, right? And so you can feed them all and you can do channels. So we have game sounds here, and this is sort of like your main one. This is your master, even though there is a master already, and you separate them out so that you can do stuff like this. And then we've got music, effects, and UI, although I don't think I'm correctly using these. Music goes to music, and so when you choose to reduce the music sound and the separate, like when you go into your settings in your game and you have sliders for those, you can hit those buses individually, right? Fortunately, I know about this stuff from my time with audio. So you've got your master volume, you've got your music, and you've got your FX, right? And those sliders are affecting the bus. Do I use snapping when you're building rooms? I do. I try to, at least. It's all on a 16 by 16 grid. I don't have it turned on. I just press control. You know what I mean? So like when I want to move the game state, I just grab it and like hold control and it'll snap to whatever. FX and UI can be combined, probably. And so what you do is you have an effect. I believe it would be like a low pass filter or a high pass filter. I never forget. Or just a filter, probably. They have funny names for them here. Delayed. We also have compressor, but like probably at the end of the day, you just put it through. Do you put it through a high pass filter? Like what? I know the effect that you're talking about, like to duck it. To me, like that is a compressive effect. I'd probably keep them separate in case you want to make UI sounds, but still hear SFX games. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm only using FX though. I don't think I have UI sounds in my game. I just put them there because I just like, oh, I need a bus. Add these in. So you put the compressor on. Now I wonder. Let me just pause the background music. If we run and we put the game and we embed it, right? We turn on the game. I don't know if you guys can even hear that. Oh, yep, we are in. There is audio. Okay, so if we go back to the buses, does this affect? Interesting. Wow, so the in-game, so you can't manipulate the bus in-game? I didn't know that. Unless that's just not going through to these buses. Oh. The audio buses can't be controlled like that during runtime. Dude, that kind of sucks. Anyway. I was going to try to test out the compressor. But I guess I'm just going to have to like You can't even hear it now. So yeah, something like that. So do we slide it? So we can sidechain. Oh, you can, dude, you can sidechain? Yo, that's low-key crazy. Actually. That's huge because I've always been thinking about this. You know how like when you take damage in certain games, like Hollow Knight and stuff, it all gets like compressed. Basically, you hear the impact and then everything gets hit. You can do that with a sidechain essentially. But yeah, I guess you have to like animate this slider, right? Because like at the end of the day, like, so how you would basically go, there's a couple of different ways you could go about doing this. You could animate it. You could, it makes me wonder, like if I go to the game state and I go to the loading animation, can I just animate that compression animation? You know what I mean? A low pass filter might also give a nice effect during the transition. Yeah. Like, could you, if you go to audio, can you like go to the compressor and animate this? I don't think you can, right? It has to be done via code. Maybe. I could, yeah, animate a variable. I mean, and assign that to the bus effect. Do I have an audio controller in this game? I don't think I do. Oh, you know what? I think there is an audio controller actually, and I just completely forgotten about it. It's a good auto load to have. Game stats, override manager, dialogue manager, node 2D. BG stream player, save game. UI. What is this? Oh, because I ran this within. Oh, it just insta crashed. Dude, something about that thread stuff makes this game really unstable. You know what I mean? Like, why won't it run? Is this a Windows related error? The image with the specified 0 pixels. You're just loading the security drone. The security drone is this level. Angel's having a dream. Scene loader finished. Hmm. Yeah, that is super annoying. I don't know. I need to learn more about this. What's all these errors? This error I need to figure out because I think it's causing the game really, the stability in the game. I probably just need to Google it. There's a stream player. Who's controlling the audio? I thought there was an audio manager, but I guess not. Are we just making calls to the BG stream player? Who's controlling that? I haven't thought about audio in such a long time. Is it because the audio bus is like kind of something? It's a global, right? So like if I go to the menu, in-game menu, so player user interface. No, that's not what I wanted. In-game menu. I've got a bunch of menus and this is, I've got the options here. And am I just controlling that stuff? I used to know how to do all this stuff. I've forgotten. Yeah, audio server. So we can just call to the audio server and get the bus and get the effect. It's just super annoying. I've done this before. It's not convenient, but I guess it is all in code, which is fine. So there's two ways that I've done this in the past. I think right now I've got individual streams. So like for everything that you have, so like if I go to the player, I don't have like an audio controller. You know what I mean? If we look at the player, we have our own audio, I'm assuming, under the weapons manager, and we play the weapon stream, and it's routed to the FX. So yeah, I will think about that in a second. Go to the bathroom though. Watch Angel for me. Oh, the camera can't see her anymore. I'm back. Where's the thing emoji go? Desktop no camera, isolated capture. Oh, you can see my monitors. I didn't see that. All right. My last build for my web game, 11.9 megs. Yeah, well, I was thinking as well, like, that is 100%, like, I used to do it that way as well. Anyway, I'm gonna give Angel a treat. She protected the stream really well. Just give me the treat, she said. What a goose. I'm not gonna be visible. I have to readjust the camera. I don't fit. We'll go with that. Yeah, that works. I'm also gonna make a coffee as well. But yeah, I think, like, yes. Put this on so I can actually tell if I'm being audibly heard. Yes, I do. I used to just create via code. Is it better? Yeah, probably. These nodes are kind of annoying, but it's done now. And controlling the actual levels and stuff is just something you can do outside of that, I think. It's no big deal. It's just the question is where? Like, what is appropriate? Because when I load I almost need I need a thing. And this also has like its own BG player, which is like an interactive stream. It doesn't work very well. I need to actually, you know what? Like, I don't have much in the way of audio. Do I have an audio controller? Do I need to create one? Is it just part of this game state node that just is this massive controller that seems to be doing everything? Or even if it is just even a part of this node that we're loading up at runtime, it can be its own thing and it can receive signals as well from the signal manager. It doesn't need to connect with the game state. Yeah, there's a lot to think about, actually. Hang on a second, I'll be back. So yeah, what do we do? Do we have just an object that controls all this stuff and it requests it? I think it would be, yeah, you do a slider with a set get. That could be done. You could just tween it. Ideally, you want it to be variable, right? So potentially in this load and loading screen, can you even do that actually in the animation player? Property track, and then you can choose a property. Call method track, animation playback, audio playback track. And so it wants audio allowed. So if I go to the BG, even if I go property, audio playback, property track, and we say, well, even we get access to it here. Pitch scale, we could turn the volume down. It's not the same as a thingo here. Yeah, it's interesting. Probably the easiest thing to do would just to create a node and just call it just a control node on top of all of these loading screens. And call it loading screens. And then add a script to it and then just control it with a variable. I think that's going to be the way. Yeah, it's probably the best way to do it. Loading screens, singletons, probably not. Let's go to yeah, actually that's fine. And then what, we have like a variable called, question is, I actually don't know. I've never tried something like this before. Compression, amount, and then it's a float, and then it's equal to 0, I guess. I don't actually know. Threshold is 0, and then we go down to whatever. Compression threshold. And we'll do that for the set get. I continuously forget how to do like set gets in Godot 4. I might need to look it up. It's like you do like this and then set, and then you like pass in a set equals, something like that, right? I don't remember. It's so much easier in Godot 3. That's like something I never forget, but here I always forget. Just give me, where's the GD script reference? That isn't getters. By ducking, I just mean a volume dip. Yeah, this will do that. It'll sound better. I think. Probably with a high pass filter or something. How can you tell that I did audio before I did game dev? I'm like, no, it must be fancy. Right. So we got set equals. Or does it have to be get first? Yes, I think it has to be get first. We have to, I'll just go func get compression threshold, and then it just returns a float. Oh my god, float, and then it just returns compression threshold. Copy and paste because it's cranky at me, and then func. Oh Jesus, set. compression threshold, takes an amount, it's a float, and it doesn't return anything. And it just sets compression threshold to be equal to amount. And then we can say get equals get compression threshold. And then I think, is it comma separated? Set equals set compression threshold. Is it happy? Seems it. And then we do something here with audio server. Audio bus effect. We need to get the bus. I think that's the first thing you do. Var bus is a bus. Audio bus. What are they called? Dude, I don't remember. Hang on a second. Audio cat bus. How do you get a bus? In the in-game menus, what's it called? Options. Audio get bus index. Okay. Set bus volume bus index. That's the pattern. Okay. And then we also have to... You want to go out? You want to go visit? Go. Can't go. So funny. Like, am I allowed to leave? She knows she's supposed to stay on her bed if she's inside. But like, that can be moved and stuff. It's not as strict as that, but wandering around the house is something that I'll get angry at her for. Not that angry. She's a very good dog. Bus index, I guess, is just the int, right? Expect the end of statement, but after find a variable declaration. Happy days, and then audio server dot get bus effect. What does it want from me? I'm also like saying games. I'm saying music, but I actually want to go to game sounds. What does it expect? What do you expect from me? Bus effect. It wants a bus index, which we've got. Effect index. Huh. So how can we reliably get that? Audio server dot get bus. Get bus index, get effects, get bus effect instance. That is actually very curious. I may have to refer back to some of my older work to figure out how you do this. Get bus effect instance. But that's probably not what I want. And it still wants the effect index. Get bus effect. Returns the audio effect at the position effect index. Bus effect count returns the number of effects on the bus index. Get bus effect instance returns audio effect instance assigned to the given bus. Bus index, peak volume, bus send, volume dB. I guess you could loop through them. Yeah, right. That would probably be what you would need to do. You get the count, and then you loop through the bus effects and look for the one that you actually want. I guess in this case, we just have the one, but like in the future, it's going to be kind of, if you have like multiple effects that you're turning on and off, like that's actually low-key annoying. You could always generate effects. Like you could add an effect. You could create an effect and then add it to it. And then you would always have a reference to it. Would that work? So it's like, in the ready function, right? You just say like, get bus index game sounds. And then go, audio server, new. I wonder if you can find the index from that though. Like even if you add it yourself, well, I guess here, if you like create a variable that is like the audio compression, which is an audio effect compressor, and then you go audio effect compressor dot new equals audio effect compressor dot new. Audio effect compressor dot new, and then you go bus audio server dot add bus effect bus index. So here's the problem. It still wants a bus index. Oh, it wants a bus index. Okay, yeah. Wait, we've got that already. Bus index. The effect is the audio compression, and then we always have it, right? And then now we don't need to like go and get the effect. We just need to set the audio compression to the is it threshold that I'm affecting, which is really just volume. I don't know, whatever. The point is we set it to the compression threshold here, and in theory that should work. If I make this an export variable, I wonder if I can affect this in engine now. Let's find out. Not going to be able to do that without actually having audio. Okay. Oh, yep, it works. To be fair, it does just sound like volume. I wonder what else. I don't know. There's probably, I need to like do some research about what sliders, but like that'll do for now. And now that we have that, we can go to the animation player for loading start, and we can basically go, if it's loading start, then we can, we need to expose that variable, I think. Can we do that? Yes. Okay, great. Oh, it doesn't work. I thought it would. Oh yeah, here we go, reset. Just a visual bug. And then here we go to like something like, I don't know what's good, like negative 30. And then for loading end, the same thing, it ends at 0.1. And then it starts at whatever it was, negative 30. I suppose the difference is the start and finish need to be the same. Otherwise, this is not going to work. So there are limitations to this, but okay. I think it works. I heard it before. Wait, what? Transition's not working properly. Is it because I changed the layout? What the hell? Oh, look at that. It got shrunk. It got shrunk because I changed the layout. I can't click anything now. So annoying. So this is like a mouse related thing, right? This pisses me off like nothing else. Mouse, stop. Like, why would that change anything? Mouse filter ignore, right? Mouse, it's inherited, so its behavior recursive determines which control receives what. I don't know. Propagate up maybe is probably what we want rather than ignore. I don't know where the menu is in regards to this, but I'll just say ignore. It worked. Probably a bit much. Can't get through that door. I guess it depends where it hits. But yeah. It's a little bit too quick. Anyway, now we have like ultra smooth transitions. Super happy with that. There's still a lot of work to be done, obviously. Boss is working well. All is good. It feels nostalgic when it dips. Yeah, you got that classic, like, you know, old school kind of thing. I think a lot of games do that though. But yeah, it's nice. Cool. That's me for the day though. I've got to hit up Bunnings for that snag. Not really, but it's fun to say. Thanks for hanging out again, guys. Banger Sanger. That got like translated to Bang Bang in live chat. I really have to figure out how to turn that off. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you all probably Monday. I can't stream on Wednesday, so I have to like work around that. Enjoy your weekends.